Trump, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Elon Musk, the MAGA movement is full of lies. The campaign is full of lies, but they are starting to be held accountable. This is Dina Doll with the Legal AF channel. Let's break it down. Now, Trump was just hit with a new defamation lawsuit from the Central Park Five. Now, if you remember, during his debate in Pennsylvania, he said that they had pled guilty because Harris's point was, now Trump is trying to say that he is a supporter of people and deserves the black vote. Like, this is what he's saying. And so she pointed out, well, those 5 young men who were innocent, they've been completely exonerated. At the time, Trump put out that full page ad saying that they should be executed. So she brings this up at the debate, and Trump says in response that they pled guilty. Now, it's barely been a month after the debate, and they have filed a lawsuit in Pennsylvania, a defamation lawsuit. And for one moment, let's just speak to the significance of that. For a Republican nominee or any presidential nominee to be sued weeks before the election would have been unheard of before, not just because Trump does things that require people to hold him accountable, but because people wouldn't have realized that they could hold him accountable. So huge credit goes to E. Jean Carroll, who brought her defamation lawsuit and beat him twice, famously, the first time $5 million, the second time over $80 million because he couldn't stop defaming her. And also to, the Attorney General of New York, who brought the civil fraud case and won. And also, of course, to his New York criminal hush money payment election interference case and won. And the reason why it's so important, because all those juries found in favor of guilt for Donald Trump, because you would not bring a lawsuit if you didn't think at the end of the day, the person could be held in account. The Central Park Five are having to pay lawyers. They're having to take time out of their day. You wouldn't do that if you had this untouchable former president and untouchable nominee. But all those people who came before with E. Jean Carroll and, they have shown to the public that Trump is not untouchable and jurors can find him accountable. And that's why we're seeing this. And I think that's why we're going to see a lot more instances of people being willing to hold Trump accountable because juries are able to see the facts and hold him accountable. So here are the facts. It's actually a really relatively easy defamation case. In order to prove defamation, it has to be a false statement of fact and it has to cause damages. But in this situation, they're actually claiming defamation per se, where they don't even have to prove damages, because if you falsely talk about somebody having a criminal offense, which is exactly what he did here, that's considered defamation per se. So they may not even have to prove any damages by this statement because of the nature of this statement. And right there, is it a statement of fact or is it a statement of opinion? If it's a statement of opinion, you're not liable under defamation. But Trump clearly wasn't saying an opinion. He was saying that they pled guilty, which is further from the truth. They actually held on to their innocence, even if it would have meant them getting out early. They always said they were innocent. So that is a very clear false statement of fact. And again, it's based, you're saying that somebody is guilty of a criminal offense, which is defamation per se. So this is going to be a relatively easy defamation, but it's not just Trump who's getting in hot water with their lies. So Elon Musk, in his first solo town hall, decides to lie about the Dominion voting machines. Yet again, we're seeing this lie, proving Harris's campaign slogan, "We're not going back," because they're clearly trying to take us back. So let's hear what Musk has to say about the Dominion voting machines. Let's play the clip.
It's hard because they've, when you have mail-in ballots and no sort of proof of citizenship, it becomes almost impossible to prove cheating is the issue. So a lot of people on the Dem side will say there's no cheating, and I'm like, you've made it impossible to actually prove that there's cheating. But statistically, there are some very strange things that happen that that are statistically incredibly unlikely. So, there's always this sort of question of, like, say, the Dominion voting machines. It is weird that I think they're used in Philadelphia and in Maricopa County, but not in a lot of other places. Doesn't that seem like a heck of a coincidence? So I think there's that is, we should, in my view, we should only do paper ballots hand counted. That's it. I'm a technologist. I know a lot about computers, and I'm like, the last thing I would do is trust a computer program.
So if you see there, he says quite a bit of statements of facts. He talks about how, isn't it strange that in Maricopa County and Pennsylvania, this is where they have the voting machines only. And that's not true. The Dominion has already come out with statements refuting each of the things that Musk says on that stage. So this was Dominion's statement regarding that clip that we just saw about Musk. Fact, Dominion does not serve Philadelphia County. Fact, Dominion's voting systems are already based on voter verified paper ballots. Fact, hand counts and audits of such paper ballots have repeatedly proven that Dominion machines produce accurate results. These are not matters of opinion. They are verifiable facts. And if you notice, the reason why they're saying that is because in defamation, if you have an opinion, then you cannot be liable for defamation because everybody has a right to their opinion. But when you are lying about facts, that's the basis of an opinion. And so Dominion is clearly communicating to Musk, you are crossing into territory where we can find you liable. And I would not be surprised if they do sue him. As we saw, they were willing to sue and they got almost $1 billion from Fox, Smartmatic with similar voting machines, settled with Newsmax for an undisclosed sum. I mean, this is their business. They have been willing to go after people who lie. And so for them to come out and fact check him thing was certainly a warning that if he keeps talking about this, then they should get an injunction or they should sue. And I think that statement is showing that this is not an opinion. This is a statement of fact. And these facts are not true. I think that was clearly a warning sign to Musk. But Musk was not the only one in this MAGA movement that decides that the American people deserve lies. Marjorie Taylor Greene also decided to lie about the Dominion voting machines in a yet widely debunked claim that, again, came from 2020. So let's hear her clip.
Whitfield County, someone posted up that when they went to vote in Whitfield County here in Georgia's 14th district, now remember, we're a swing state, and we need everyone to vote in my district. And so they went to vote, and we have the Dominion machines. And you go through and you mark president, you mark, for Congress, that would be me. They marked Donald Trump, and they marked who they were voting for the rest of the way down their ballot on the machine. Then when they're finished, the machine prints their ballot, a paper copy, a printed copy. And each voter has to review that printed copy to make sure that it has selected the candidates that they want to vote for. And so when this voter printed their ballot and they looked, it had changed. It was not Donald Trump. It was not me. And it was not the other ones they had voted for. It had switched. And so they went up to one of the election workers and they said, here's the problem. The machine switched it and my printed ballot, I did not vote for these people. So they had to start over, and they went through it several times and it kept on making the same error, kept on switching the votes. And so this is something we're just starting to look into today because I just found out about it this morning before I came on your show today. But we will be following up, and I'll be talking to election workers and officials here in the district and making sure that this happens, that these ballots are correct, because that's extremely concerning. It sounds similar to what we heard in 2020, but there's other things that I'm concerned about, Alex. Here in Georgia, we fixed our voting laws, but states that did not fix their voting laws is Pennsylvania, Arizona,
So Marjorie Taylor Greene in that clip, again, is setting the stage for a defamation lawsuit against her because she says very clearly that some voter kind of told her about this. There was a voter in a social media post who made these claims, and she does not verify it. And we know she doesn't verify it because she says in the interview, she says, I will look into this. I will then call the, county officials and look into it. So she decided to make remarks in this public interview without even bothering to verify the facts. And the reason why this really sets her up for a defamation lawsuit that Dominion can bring is because we all know, based on the 2020 lies, that they are in fact lies. These claims were brought in 2020 and were proven over and over and over again to be false, to the extent, again, of a almost $1 billion settlement against Fox. If there were any facts to support these lies, Fox wouldn't have settled for nearly $1 billion. So here she has a social media posts, like something completely, people can lie on social media all the time. Somebody can say anything they want, and she doesn't bother to verify it. And she says it's in her district, which makes it even worse because it'd be very easy for her to pick up the phone and verify it. So she decides to not make it a statement of opinion. She decides to make it a statement of fact that somebody in her district had their vote switched by Dominion, which is clearly not true. And the reason also why it's such a basis for defamation is defamation. If you're dealing with a public figure or dealing with a public issue, you have to also prove malice. And you can argue that the Dominion voting machines are, a public figure, a public issue. And so in order for them to win their lawsuits, they have to know that the speaker who said that lie either knew it was false or were reckless with regard to the truth. And so there you go. She was certainly reckless with regard to the truth because she should know, based on the fact that she's a representative, and this was widely reported, that there was no basis of these claims in 2020. And she was reckless because she didn't verify it, even though she clearly could, because this was in her district. So we have Trump being sued by the Central Park Five. We have Dominion coming out and making statements based on what Musk and even Marjorie Taylor Greene, they are putting them on notice to stop lying about us. They could still sue them. Just because they put them on notice doesn't mean that they can't. They could sue them just based on the statements they've already made. But I think they are definitely putting them on notice to stop lying about them. And they have been shown, Dominion has been shown to be willing to go after people. And so here we are so close to the election, these MAGA movement willing to lie to the American people, but not anymore really getting away with it scot-free like they would have in 2020. Everyone has woken up to how dangerous these lies are. So my name is Dina Doll with the Legal AF channel. Free subscribe if you want to see more of these videos. We are trying to get as many out as possible before the election to keep everybody informed with things such as this, really important issues about how somebody is trying to win an election, because that matters. It matters. Are you willing to cheat? Are you willing to lie? So follow us for more videos like this.
In collaboration with the Midas Touch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories, the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.